Hi everybody, welcome once again to Low on Health Rambling, where I kind of go over what I've done the last past day or so. Doing another one just kind of back to back on this, just have the time to do it, so I'm going to go ahead and do another video. Today, which is kind of just the same as yesterday, woke up. Today I decided, yesterday I mowed the lawn, and then today I decided, hey, I'm going to work on the bushes on the side of the house, which ironically I have like a bunch of bushes like on the corners of the house, decorative bushes that have kind of just overgrown the last past 5 years or so. So I've been trying to trim them. That didn't work. I bought a chainsaw a couple months back and kind of worked on them a little bit then, and then the winter came and I didn't really touch them at all. But now I've decided, hey, I should get back to them. So I've actually been working on the lawn, doing some of this and that on it, and trying to figure out the best way, because some of the bushes have kind of grown back out. They kind of got like weeds and stuff growing in them, so it's kind of difficult. So I figured, hey, I wonder what happens. I have a tarp in the garage. What happens if I just put this tarp over the bushes? Because that way it should kill off all the leaves and stuff and kind of get everything dead, and then I'll work on it. So what I decided to do is go ahead and take that tarp out and put it over one of the corners, one of the bushes in the corners of the house. To kind of, I weighted down with some rocks and to see how well that works. Give it like a week or so and see what happens. Ironically, I forgot the reason the tarp was in there was because the cat had used it as a litter box at some point, and basically the whole tarp smelled like cat piss, which was really interesting as I opened the tarp up to put it over the bushes. So I actually rinsed the whole basically tarp off since I had it outside, but that front corner of the house now kind of smells like cat piss, which is kind of funny. And then of course after that I did my usual bike ride, but rode my bike around the house and whatnot, not around the house, but down to the Sims Park and then up the river, which is nice and relaxing. Came back home, ate some food, took a shower, watched some 30 Rock, and played some Halo ODST. Worked on getting all the audio files and whatnot. But I just want to go ahead and talk about some other things real quick. I've had some things backlogged and queued up, and I don't want these going over more than 10 minutes. But I'm just going to go ahead and jump into another kind of TV-related thing. There was a South Park episode recently that had the whole Muhammad debacle, which, you can't show Muhammad as a cartoon after 9/11 because the Muslims are all pissed off about it, which, whatever. But what's really interesting, of course, as most of us South Park fans know, is that Muhammad appeared on Super Best Friends a long time ago, the David Blaine episode, and they already depicted him like years ago in South Park, which is just ironic. Now they're making a big deal about it. And the second part of the episode that they recently aired, it was heavily censored. Like Muhammad was censored and his name was censored, and the whole ending lesson learned thing was censored. In which case that wasn't apparently South Park Studios, that was Comedy Central. And this was basically Matt and Trey saying, hey, we gave them the file, they won't let us stream the original. But that's basically what happened. It was Comedy Central's call, which is, whatever. But it's just really interesting. I'm doing this for just kind of a memento to see what happens down the road in the future if I ever watch these, to see what the actual outcome of this whole debacle was. But moving on here, I recently watched the movie called Little Big Soldier, which is basically it's a Jackie Chan film. It's an old school time period piece of basically China's unification back like in 227 BC. Which is just really kind of cool. I mean, I like these types of films, and it's not like a stupid kooky comedy with Jackie Chan. I mean, this is a nice, serious kind of film, but not too serious. I mean, he interjects a little bit of humor into it, and he interjects some of his usual like fight sequences in it. But it is a good old classic, samurai type of film, warlords and whatnot vying for power of China and its unification. And it's just a really, really good movie. I recommend people, if you've heard about it or haven't heard about it. It's a really good film. It's not a typical Jackie Chan Rush Hour 3 film. It's a nice, really good film. Moving on here. I've been playing the Sherlock Holmes game for the PC recently, and I kind of just beat it. This is kind of an old school point and click adventure type game, but in the third person type of view. In which case, it's a really, really rough around the edges game. The animation's rough, the video's rough, the audio's rough. But it's still a good, fun, classic, point-and-click adventure, and of course it's the Sherlock Holmes games. So there's a bunch of different puzzles and whatnot, and I'm going to kind of skip through this video here and see what kind of things we have here. We basically have a point where you investigate the murders, and you use basically like a magnifying glass to look for clues and try to figure out, if it was left-handed or right-handed, what kind of weapon he used. You also try to reenact the different murders. This is basically him versus Jack the Ripper, so you basically go through all the Jack the Ripper kills, all the like misleads, the red herrings. This is basically, what a lot you do is just kind of point and click around offices, try to combine things, use them on different objects. What else we got here? Yeah, so basically, kind of like your old school point and click adventure in the third person. It's very rough around the edges because it's hard to tell what you can and can't click on, and there's kind of misdirections. But the puzzles are really, really good and challenging. And yes, I did just find an online walkthrough and just play the game through like it that way. But they did release a 360 version of this, which is made me interested in the PC version, but I don't even know how the 360 version plays. Moving on to game FAQs. Once again, they did do the whole which new Capcom character would you like to see in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. You got Albert, Dante, Dr. Wily, Phoenix Wright, Proto Man. I mean, me, honestly, just because I'm a big Dante fan, I went for Dante. In which case, Dante is kind of the number one person in the lead. You also have Albert Wesker, which I know is also a fan favorite. And actually, Phoenix Wright's in second, which is kind of cool. Leon Kennedy's in there. Dr. Wily really isn't that much in there. Kind of cool to see if they actually put one of these characters in the game. Of course, we're all kind of betting on Dante or Albert just because they're kind of more actiony. But Phoenix Wright would just be funny as hell if they put him in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Speaking about Capcom and Street Fighter and whatnot, this is a Street Fighter video from the PC. Essentially what the guy did is he used two different camera angles to produce a kind of stereoscopic thing. And I mentioned this before, how much I love the 3D stereoscopic stuff, where you kind of cross your eyes and you lock it into place and you watch it. And I actually downloaded this on the high def version, which is freaking awesome. And it's just really, really cool. If you can pull off the 3D eye cross-eyed stuff, give this a watch, do it in high def, and watch it. It's awesome because you have basically this fight. Then you also have this fight here, which is just freaking awesome. You definitely get the layer of detail, and then definitely basically the different levels of the characters. I mean, they appear 3D, they appear rounded, and the things in the background are definitely in the background. And I just really, really, really love this type of stuff. Granted, you can't do it for long periods of time, but 3D eye, cross-eyed, stereoscopic stuff is just one of my fan favorite things, and this is just an awesome video of it. What else? There's another one up here, Chun-Li. But just want to throw that out there. If you can do it, type that video on YouTube and give it a watch. That's really about it. I'm going to go ahead and, of course, talk about this game right here, which, of course, is Phantasy Star Online. A lot of people, basically, this was my first Phantasy Star game. I didn't really play the old-school RPG ones, and I did play this for the Dreamcast. Didn't really play it online at the time. I just heard everybody talking about it, and I want to say my friend had the modem, and we did it that way. He brought his modem over. But really, Phantasy Star Online was kind of my first kind of online, not even so, but just kind of my first type of game of playing this. And I really, really enjoyed it. And actually, I mean, to this day, I still listen to, do I still got it up here? The Phantasy Star Online music, which is, whenever I hear, it's just kind of epic and awesome. And I really just always enjoyed this music, and it's in my constant rotation. I mean, if you hear this and you automatically remember the opening of the game, the title screen and everything, it's just really awesome. And of course, basically, whenever I hear, this is basically the other theme for it, which is just kind of awesome. This is kind of like the lobby theme. I really enjoyed the music for Phantasy Star Online. I'm just looking at it here. It looks like the game actually came with the Sonic Adventures 2 trial. It's kind of ironic to see where Sonic has gone from there. But I really enjoy Phantasy Star Online. I didn't really beat it or play too much of it on the Dreamcast. When they did the GameCube release of it, basically a couple years back, I was able to get a hacked save or Game Shark and actually was able to max level my character and actually play through the whole actual story of Phantasy Star Online, which it kind of has a weak story when you think about it. But its gameplay and design is just so freaking solid, and it just looks great. Its design and just character detail is really cool, and I just want to throw that out there. I really enjoyed Phantasy Star Online. It's just one of those kind of classic games that a lot of people just remember and just think back to it. And I mean, it's kind of a lot of people's first building blocks on playing online games on the console. I'm trying to think. That's almost all that I have left for the Dreamcast games. I actually didn't. Either they've gotten lost or whatnot over the years. I did have the original Shenmue back in the day for the Dreamcast, which I'll mention real quick because I don't have it anymore, or it's hidden in a box somewhere, not my usual game pile. But I loved freaking Shenmue, and I mean, I was dating a girl at the time, and she liked Shenmue just because of how mundane it was and the little things you do with the kitten and the the gashapons and all that stuff. And I remember us looking at like the strategy guy at Toys R Us just kind of to see what kind of look and just see ahead. It was just really kind of weird at those times of the days to kind of play games with people and kind of have everybody crowd around the TV just to play the game. But Shenmue was that game, and I really enjoyed that one. And I probably will talk about Shenmue 2 on the Xbox when I get to that. But other than that, as always, I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you next time.